देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्ठिकी। Hare Krishna. So today I'm reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, text 5, chapter 16. Shaunak Uvacha. Kasya hetur jagraha kalim digvijaye nrapaha nardeva chinyadra shutra kovasaugam yah padahanat tat kachatam mahabhaga yadi Krishna kathashrayam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. It
Yes,
is
so,
this one, 1.16.4, this one.
Okay. Chapter 1, text, chapter
Okay,
16.
okay. अच्छा, आप 5th पे चलेगा. ठीक है, ठीक. 4th.
Okay, I recited 5th one. Okay, so 4th one is Nijagraho jasa viraha kalim digvijaye kvachit nrapalingadharam shutram vinaktam vinantam gomithunam pada. Text 4. Word to word meaning. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Nijagraha, sufficiently punished. Ojasa, by prowess. Viraha, valiant hero. Veera, valiant hero. Kalim, to Kali, the master of the age. Digvijay, on his way to conquer the world. Kvachit, once upon a time. Nrapalinga dharam, one who passes in Shudram, the lower class. Vinantam, hurting. Gomithunam, a cow and bull. Pada, on the leg. Translation. Once, when Maharaj Parikshit was on his way to conquer the world, he saw the master of Kali Yuga, who was lower than a Shudra, disguised as a king and hurting the legs of a cow and bull. The king at once caught hold of him to deal sufficient punishment. Purport. The purpose of a king's going out to conquer the world is not for self-aggrandizement. Maharaj Parikshit went out to conquer the world after his ascendance to the throne. But this was not for the purpose of aggression on other states. He was the emperor of the world, and all small states were already under his regime. His purpose in going out was to see how things were going on in terms of the godly state. The king, being the representative of the Lord, has to execute the will of the Lord duly. There is no question of self-aggrandizement. Thus, as soon as Maharaj Parikshit saw that a lower class man, the dress of a king, was hurting the legs of a cow and a bull, at once he arrested and punished him. The king cannot tolerate insult to the most important animal, the cow, nor can he tolerate disrespect for the most important man, the Brahmana. Human civilization means to advance the cause of Brahminical culture, and to maintain it, cow protection is essential. There is a miracle in milk, for it contains all the necessary vitamins to sustain humans' physiological condition for higher achievements. Brahminical culture can advance only when man is educated to develop the quality of goodness. And for this, there is a prime necessity of food prepared with milk, fruits, and grains. Maharaj Parikshit was astonished to see that a black Shudra dressed like a ruler was mistreating a cow, the most important animal in human society. The age of Kali means mismanagement and quarrel. The root cause of all mismanagement and quarrel is that worthless men with the modes of lower class men who have no higher ambition in life come to the hem of the state management. Such men at the post of a king are sure to first hurt the cow and the Brahminical culture, thereby pushing all society towards health. Maharaj Parikshit said, as he was got the scent of this root cause of all quarrel in the world, thus he wanted to stop it in the very beginning. Next, text number 5, translation. Saunak Rishi inquired, why did Maharaj Parikshit simply punish him? Since he was the lowest of the Sudras, having dressed as a king, having struck a cow on the leg, please describe all these incidents if they relate to the topics of Lord Krishna. Purport. Shaunak and the rishis were astonished to hear that the pious Maharaj Parikshit simply punished the culprit and did not kill him. This suggests that a pious king like Maharaj Parikshit would have at once killed an offender who wanted to cheat the public by dressing like a king and at the same time daring to insult the purest of the animal, cow. The rishis in those days, however, could not even imagine that the advanced days of the age of Kali, the lowest of the Sudras will be elected as administrators and will open organized slaughterhouses for killing cows. Anyway, although hearing about Shudrak, who was a cheater, and insulter of a cow, was not very interesting to the great rishis. They nevertheless wanted to hear about it to see if the event had any connection with Lord Krishna. They were simply interested in the topic of Lord Krishna, for anything that is dovetailed the narration of Krishna is worth hearing. There are many topics in the Bhagavatam about sociology, politics, economics, cultural affairs, etc. But all of them are in relation with Krishna, and therefore all of them are worth hearing. Krishna is the purifying ingredients in all matters, regardless of what they are. In the mundane world, everything is impure due to its being a product of the three mundane qualities. The purifying agent, however, is pure. Yes. So these chapters, few last chapters of first canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Prabhupada has discussed many practical things related to administration, the cultural aspect. Parikshit Maharaj, he was representing the great dynasty of Yudhishthira Maharaj and Arjuna. And all these Pandavas, they were the great devotees of Lord. So that's why there was a rumor, or there was a discussion in society. Let's see how Parikshit ruled the country. And people, when Parikshit Maharaj used to move around the country, that's the responsibility of a king. As we see in the pastimes of Lord Ramchandra also, how he has his spies who are moving around the city, around the country, to find out, is he ruling properly or not? So those great kings, Rajrishis, they are always anxious how they can protect their praja, as praja is considered as a child for a king. So how can they protect them materially as well as from the religious prospect? So in the same way, Parikshit Maharaj, he was also moving around his country to find out how the things are going on. And when he used to hear from the public that public will say, someone will say that Parikshit, oh, is a new boy, how he will rule. Then some other will say, don't forget, he is the grandchildren of Yudhishthira Maharaj. He is the grandchildren of Arjuna, the great devotees of the Lord. And you don't forget, he will rule in such a wonderful way that everyone will become pleased in our country. So that was the narration which was going on in the country of Parikshit Maharaj. As this is the rule, There are two kinds of kings. One is the Chakravarti Samrat, and others are the dependent state on the Chakravarti Samrat. Those who did Ashwamedha Yagga, they becomes the Chakravarti Samrat. Like we see how the remnants of Vedic culture still we can see in the modern world also. Like there is central government, as we see in India, and there are state governments. Then there are local authorities till panchayat. In a village, there is a sarpanch. So this is how it was in the Vedic culture also. These are the remnants of Vedic culture. Sometimes people say India was not a country. It was just a different kind of riyasat. Riyasat were there. It's not like that. There was a king who was sitting in Delhi, and then there were other kings who are dependent on that. They were giving some tax, they were collecting some tax, paying to the king who was sitting enthroned in the Delhi. This was happening, I think, in other parts of the world also, and how the countries were ruled by the kings. Now, when Parikshit Maharaj, when he went for this, just observing his country, how the things are going on, Prabhupada writes the purport. The purpose of a king's going out to conquer the world is not for self-aggrandizement. So this is one of the most important quality of a leader, self-aggrandizement. Yes. If there is self-aggrandizement, then there are chances of less cooperation. There are chances that there can be revolt against the monarchy if there is self-aggrandizement. And we have such a wonderful example of Srila Prabhupada. As when we see different organizations in the modern world, like Chinmay Mission, or we see some other foundations, Yogi foundations, different kind of foundations. And we see the founder of those mission, those institute, those trust, they kept the name of the trust on their name. So basically, they promoted themselves. While we see the example of Prabhupada, what he gives the name to institute, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. The great symptom of a leader. So Prabhupada kept Krishna in the center, not himself. And now what is happening now, because Srila Prabhupada glorified Krishna, so now Krishna is glorifying to Srila Prabhupada. Once His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami was narrating one incident that some devotee came with a new book, newly printed book in front of Srila Prabhupada, and there was written International Society for Krishna Consciousness, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Just very angry on that editor. Where is the word founder Acharya? And Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, he was there. And that time he has a confusion, he has a question. Why Prabhupada was so anxious for his name? Why the founder Acharya is not there? Ultimately, okay, anybody has founded, work is going on for the service of Krishna. Why founder Acharya? Later on, after due course of time, after a few years, Maharaj realized that Prabhupada not only founded this society of ISKCON, but also he protected the society for the future generations. As we see in the Sri Sampradaya, we cannot imagine Sri Sampradaya without the name of Ramanujacharya. Even the Sampradaya is known as a Ramanuja Sampradaya. Brahma Sampradaya is known as a Madhva Sampradaya. So for the protection of the Sampradaya, the position of founder Acharya must be clear for the coming generations. That is what Prabhupada has done. So whatever Prabhupada has done, that was not for the self-aggrandizement. And being as a grand disciples of Srila Prabhupada and upcoming generations, they also follow the same thing. As whatever we are doing, that must not be for the self-aggrandizement. We can take the example of a football team or hockey team. There are different players playing on the different side. If goalkeeper is thinking, no, I will put the goal, the sure team will be defeated. We can take the example of garland. In garland, there are flowers at different places. And if flower thinks, oh no, I want to be on this place, I want to be on this place, what will happen? Yeah, that garland cannot look beautiful. The same way we are in the society, we are serving under the devotees. Many devotees are guiding us. So if we are not in this consciousness of self-realization, as Bhakti Rasamrata Swami Maharaj says, if this is not going to hamper that who is going to take credit of this work, we can we can work in a wonderful cooperative way. If it doesn't doesn't affect, who will take the credit of this work? So as we know, for the teaching purpose, institution is very important. I think you all have experience. We go, like, if you come to India or anywhere, I have many experiences. We go to someone, we say we are coming from ISKCON. Although we have no post, no position, no value. No value means we are not a very we are not doing much for the society. Still, when we say we are coming from ISKCON, and those people, they are very welcoming and they give you respect as you are representing ISKCON. So to preach, institute has a great role, and that is what Prabhupada has done. No self-advertisement. Now, the next line of the purport. Yeah, he was the emperor of the world, and all small states were under his blessing. The purpose of going was to see how things were going in the terms of the godly state. As Krishna says, Imam Vivashvate Yogam Proktavahanam Apayam. This knowledge has been given to the kings, those who were the kings from outside and deceased from inside. Because in a healthy body, the brain must be functioning properly. His arms, they should be functioning properly. And even the belly and the feet, the complete body, all these things should be in the normal state. If there is mistake in any parts of these four of the parts of the body, then that man cannot be called as a healthy. In the same way as the society is considered as a Brahmana, as a head, Kshatriya, as the arms, Vaishyas is the belly, and Sudras is the feet. And anything is displaced, that cannot be a healthy society. So that's why Brahmana, no doubt, they has a great role, because they are the people who guide the Kshatriyas. But Kshatriyas also has very, very important roles. That is what we see nowadays, which is missing in the society. Like, now there is no authority, there is no no parameter to check that the practice which are going on in the name of religion, they are fine or they are something cheating. There is no authority to regulate it. And that was the work of a Kshatriya under the guidance of the Brahmanas. When Parikshit Maharaj went for the this hunting, and he kept one snake in a shamik. Yeah, shamik is short. Yeah. Why? In his neck, to check he is proper sadhu or just he is doing some propaganda or just cheating people. But nowadays, like I can see Rajat Prabhu. If Rajat Prabhu now in this age of Kali, he found one organization, he found one trust, and just he has a big daddy and big bar, and he's wearing saffron clothes. I can guarantee you, he can also have hundreds and thousands of followers. It doesn't matter what do you speak. Few days back, I was going to some place, and I saw in a bus, it has been written, tourist is God. This was a new concept. In a bus, it has been written, tourist is God. So you see, now no one is there to check what has been written And what people are saying, no one is there. But in the Vedic culture, Kshatriyas, they have the rights. Brahmanas, they have the rights. If someone is propagating some misconceptions in the society, then they will invite them. There's discussion. Okay, if you are saying tourist is God, then you have to prove your philosophy. If you cannot do that, then you cannot propagate it. So Brahmanas, through intellectual way, they will dispel these wrong philosophies. While Kshatriyas, even if someone cannot, like Brahmanas, they are dealing in a gentle way. They are not killing two people. But still, if someone is not understanding the things and he is still arrogant, then the things comes to Kshatriyas, and then they have to take some strong action. That is why Parikshit Maharaj was moving around his country to check is the state is governed properly under the rules and regulations as per the scriptures, and godly state. Prabhupada writes godly state. So this is what we are missing in the modern society, and no parameters, no regulations over the misguiding elements. Now, Prabhupada writes, the king cannot tolerate insult to the most important animal, the cow, nor can he tolerate disrespect for most of the important men, the Brahmanas. Even Krishna cannot tolerate. What about the king? Because king is the representative of the Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's why we say Namo Brahman, Go Brahman Hitaya, Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namah. So yes, Krishna loves two cows, Krishna loves two Brahmanas. And that's why we see either it's Kansa or it's Hiranyakashipu, their first priority is to kill the Brahmanas, kill the cows. No sacrifice should be there. And that's the demonic culture. So Brahminical culture, many times this Brahminical culture is misinterpreted. Sometimes people think Brahminical culture means Brahmins by caste. They have advantages in the society. They have aggrandizement in the society. It's not the Brahminical culture. The meaning of Brahminical culture, as we know, Brahma Janati Brahmana. The culture centered around the self-realization. King will rule in such a way, Samsiddhi Haritoshma. Brahmanas, they will make the rules, they will guide king in such a way, Samsiddhi Haritoshma. So even by a potter, even by a Kshatriya, just through fighting for the pleasure of Krishna, he can become perfect. We don't know Parikshit Maharaj was chanting 16 rounds or not. We are not aware about that. And Arjuna was chanting 16 rounds or not. So some siddhi haritosha. When all these incidents come, then we should know the nature of our movement also. Yes, why was saying Go Brahman Hitaisha. So Go, cow and Brahmana. The culture is centered around cows and Brahmana because Brahmanas, they are to guide people for the self-realization, for the self-upliftment. And why cows? Because with the cows, as we see different parts of cow product, they help a healthy community in a different way without any kind of dependency. Cow milk act as a nervine tonic. That's why we read, I think you already read it, that Shukdev Goswami will stay in the house of a Grihastha just until that time. It's a cow milk. Because cow is a nervine tonic, and this nervine, this kind of breed empowered with this nervine tonic is helpful to understand the spiritual subject matter. Ahara Suddhi Sattva Suddhi Upanishad says. So this cow milk help to develop those fine tissues which are helpful to understand the spiritual subject matter. And that is what we can see in the modern society. भैंस का दूध पी पी के सबका बुद्धि मोटा हो गया, इसलिए आध्यात्मिक ज्ञान समझ में आता नहीं। So for the protection of this Vedic culture, Brahminical culture, Brahmanas and cows, they are very important. So these all are the responsibility of a leader, how to lead the society, how to rule the society, either it's a spiritual society or it's the common society consisting with Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Sudra, that everyone can be guided, everyone can be moved on towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead by performing the activities as per their nature. That's why Prabhupada was why so much emphatic on the Varnashram. Varnashram doesn't mean some people are staying in form and growing for themselves. It's not the Varnashram. Varnashram means they have facility, whatever they are doing, they can do for the service of Krishna. At the same time, they have facility to work as per their own nature. Then only they can be stay happily. Now that's not there. If you want to earn money, just by farming, you cannot earn. Not possible. You have to go in business or some other whatever is that. And then Prabhupada writes, the age of Kali means mismanagement and quarrel. And the root cause of all mismanagement and quarrel is this worthless men with the modes of lower class men who have no higher purpose in their life. Yes. So this is very normal. The age of Kali, we manage and we damage. Management, usually management is in the mode of passion. And whenever you're in mode of passion, there are chances you manage, but more you damage. So that's why there's a need of goodness, even when someone is managing. That goodness comes from the spiritual practices. Unfortunately, now leader, not only in India, but in the world, they are just either in the mode of passion or is we cannot say like how much fragment they have of goodness. Otherwise, the policies which they are making, they are just leading towards the hell. So that's why there is a great role of training. Great role of training. Someone, Janamana Jayatu Shudra. Why Parishit Maharaj became such a great ruler? Why Yudhishthira Maharaj Arjuna could become a great ruler? There was the training system. The son of a Kshatriya will go to Gurukul and he will learn all those arts, not only the weaponry arts, but also politics and economics, all those things which are necessary to rule. But now the training system is just collapsed. By the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, now in ISKCON we have training system how to become a Brahmana. That training system we have, but how to become a Kshatriya, the qualities of a Vaishya. There are people who are earning millions and millions and billions. But what are they using with that money? Because there's no training for the Vaishyas. If there is training for the Vaishyas, naturally they will use that money for the service of Krishna, for the upliftment of society. But no, they are just keeping it the Swiss account or for the self-aggrandizement or for the self-sense gratification. So that's why there's a great need not only for the Brahmanas, but to train Vaishyas as a devotee of Krishna, Kshatriyas. This is the most important thing which we are missing now in the society. We are missing. Practically, this spirit in this Maharaj says that in the democracy there is no place for Kshatriyas. The Shanti Parva Bhagavatam, Mahabharat, Vishnu Pitama says, in emergency, a Brahmana can accept a dharma of Kshatriya and Vaishya. But for Kshatriya, there is no way. A Kshatriya, he must have to follow his dharma. That's why Krishna is stopping Arjuna. Arjuna, you cannot become a sadhu. No, you have to fight here because you are a Kshatriya. And that is what we are missing in modern society. And the consequences which is going on the name of religion. Why there is fighting on the name of religion? Religion, in the beginning, any ism or any religion that is in its pure state. What is the meaning of pure state of a religion? There is philosophy, there is rituals, and the ultimate purpose of the philosophy and rituals is the realization, self-realization. That is the purest stage of a religion. But due course of time, as we know, things deteriorate. So the things comes to the philosophy, the second stage, philosophy and rituals. The purpose is lost, self-realization. Behind that philosophy, behind those rituals, the purpose is self-realization. But in the second stage, that is lost. And the third stage is, even the philosophy is lost, only rituals are there. Only rituals are there. People at what see with most of the religion in the world, rituals are there, philosophy is lost. There are very few followers who are those who are very sound with the philosophy. And I will not say that everything is deteriorated. No, at some extent that will be present in the purest state also, but how the things deteriorate. And now the fourth thing is the political convenience. The religion becomes the political convenience, just to rule over, just to rule on the people. And that is the most degraded stage of the religion. And that is why people are fighting on the name of religion, because the purpose is lost, which is philosophy, rituals, and realization. Now people are fighting on the third stage of the religion, that is the rituals. Someone says, I have this ritual, you have this ritual, our rituals are contradicting. That's why there is fight. Now sometimes we see in the society, just recently is incidents of Bangladesh, and sometimes we are disturbed, devotees are disturbed. So that's why one important thing is we should know the nature of our movement. Nature of our movement. Once I visited one, RSS in India, Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. So I was talking with one of his officer, and he was asking me, how many schools you have opened, how many anath ashram you have opened, and I make it clear. If I ask you, Mister, how many people you make chant them 16 rounds, how many times you have conducted course on Bhagavad Gita, then his answer will be no. So there is a nature of movement. Yes, Prabhupada has established this movement for the Brahminical culture. So maybe these incidences are heartbreaking. We can think in a different scenario, but being as the movement is gone, because this is a Brahminical movement. So yeah, so the four stages of dharma, and we need a Kshatriya to protect these different stages of dharma, to act in different stages of dharma. And mismanagement and quarrel, which is the root cause, this age of Kali. The fifth shlokas Prabhupada writes about, very wonderful point is there. The rishis are telling, please describe all these incidents if they relate to the topics of Lord Krishna. Very powerful point. Sometimes devotees, they are discussing politics. Someone may say, why are you discussing politics? Or someone, most of the time we will see, because we are the preaching movement, so most of the time we are discussing preaching strategy more than Krishna Katha. How to preach, how to organize this program, how to do this, how to that. So because that's not Prajalpa, that is connected with Krishna. What is rishis are telling here? And the same thing Rupa Goswami also says, Krishna Sambandhi Vastuna. The sign of a great or advanced devotee is he can see how things are connected with Krishna. Although he is moving on road and he sees wonderful flowers, fruits, but his consciousness is how, please take it and you will offer it to Lord in temple. This is the consciousness. So in the purport it comes, there is sociology, there is politics, there is many things are there. And if they are connected to Krishna, establish the Krishna conscious movement around the world, help people to support them in Krishna consciousness, then yes, we can talk on that. And that's the part of Varnashrama. Because in this world, Practically everything is into the world where we are residing. This world is filled with mostly passion and ignorance. In some extent, goodness is also here, but goodness is also not the purest form. So everything what we have in this world, it is either in the goodness or in passion or in darkness. Prabhupada writes, the purifying agent, however, is Krishna. Gita also Krishna. Whatever you do, everywhere there is some effect. Even the Agni, this fire, he has a smoke. So in all the activities, there is some impurity, some problems that will be there. But the purifying element is Krishna. If we are doing that to please Krishna, to please Guru Vaishnava, then those things which we are using, the service of Krishna, those things will purify us. And that is what our purpose, to purify ourselves. So if things, activities are not in relation to Krishna, and this is a very great principle actually. What I was telling few minutes back, although Parikshit Maharaj was not chanting 16 rounds, but everything was the connection to Krishna, and that is the purifying element. Connection to Krishna. He was ruling, like we know, Yudhishthira Maharaj, he was not fond of the kingdom. He told, okay, no, there's no need. But when he saw that Krishna, he wanted that Yudhishthira should become the king, then he accepted it. So again, Krishna is the purifying agent. He's the purifying element. That is how the Kshatriyas were ruling, the Vaishyas were trading, the Brahmanas were guiding the society, and Sudras, they were helping to different segment of the society. But the center element was Samsiddhi Haritoshnam. Purifying element was Krishna. So very wonderful purports. I think these from practical, many practical aspect has been discussed in the 16th, 17th, 15th chapter of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And Prabhupada also has given a wonderful guidelines for the society, for the leaders. Even in future, if it's going to go to politics, they have guidelines in this. So I will conclude here that responsibility of a leader is not the self-aggrandizement, but as we see the example of Srila Prabhupada, the different aspect of Vedic culture, the responsibility of our Rajarishi to maintain the society, and the nature of demonic culture, killing the cows and the brahmanas, and ultimately the mismanagement and quarrel, role of training, need of the Kshatriya, and things which are connected to Krishna, they are acceptable and they can be used for the service of Krishna. And so this is what we discussed today from these purport and these slokas. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Mahaprabhu ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, any comment or question?
Thank you, Prabhuji, for wonderful class. Any devotee has any question, you can go ahead and ask. You can unmute your mic or you can type on the comment box.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्ण सद्गुरु।
प्रभु जी, मेरा क्वेश्चन है जो आज का पर्पट में है, जो मेन वर्ड लगा, जो सेल्फ एडवर्टाइजमेंट जो श्रील प्रभुपाद जी बोल रहे हैं, तो हम लोग अगर प्रैक्टिकली देखें, हम लोग जो अगर ऑफिस की बात करें तो मैक्सिमम लीडर्स तो ऐसे ही आते हैं। तो हम लोग जैसे भागवतम को देख के, मतलब मैं अगर पर्सनली बोलूं, दिस सिचुएशंस वी आल्सो फेस इन ऑफिस। तो भागवतम जैसे हम लोग पढ़ते हैं तो वी ट्राई टू इम्प्लीमेंट, लेकिन वी आर आल्सो अंडर समवंस जो हम लोग के ऊपर है, तो दे कम एंड दे बिहेव इन दिस वे, जिसमें मतलब छोटी छोटी बात भी कोई अगर बोलता है, दे हैव अ पर्सनल जजमेंट फॉर समवन, सो व्हिच वी रियलाइज कि ये मेरे टीम मेंबर के लिए अच्छा नहीं है, लेकिन देयर दिस ओपिनियन इज नॉट राइट। So how to implement this? मतलब what should be my approach in dealing with this situation in material world? Because यही question आया, how to? Because at least I can understand कि हम लोग को क्या करना चाहिए, लेकिन जब कोई चीज ठीक नहीं हो रहा है, तो what should be our position in actual material world? According to this, आपका advice सुनना चाहूँगा।
Yes. I will narrate an incident from the 1971. 1964 5 war, India and Pakistan. There was a colonel, and colonel ने कहा कि हमें, there was a post जहां पे उनका पोस्टिंग था, वहां से 9 किलोमीटर उनको आगे जाना था, और उन्होंने कहा कि हम शाम को वो उस पोस्ट के ऊपर मिलेंगे। और फिर उन्होंने अपने एक सैनिक से पूछा कि यदि मैं घायल हो जाऊं तो तुम क्या करोगे? बोले साहब, अच्छा, कर्नल ने ये कहा था कि हम जिंदा या मुर्दा हम पोस्ट के ऊपर ही मिलेंगे शाम को। तो उन्होंने कहा कि पूछा एक सैनिक से कि यदि मैं घायल हो जाऊं तो तुम क्या करोगे? बोले साहब, मैं आपको लेके वो पोस्ट की तरफ भागूंगा, क्योंकि आपने कहा है जिंदा या मुर्दा, तो मैं आपको हॉस्पिटल में लेके आने वाला नहीं। सी यस, लीड करना बहुत कठिन काम, बहुत डिफिकल्ट काम है। जैसे हमने सेल्फ एग्रेडाइजमेंट की बात कही, देखिए यदि हैं, हमारे सीनियर्स हैं, अनफॉर्चुनेट सिचुएशन हमें ऐसे लोगों से डील करना होता है, दोस्त वर्किंग। इसलिए एक किसी कार्य के ऊपर विचार करने के बहुत सारे सिद्धांत होते हैं। जैसे आप आयुर्वेदिक व्यक्ति के पास जाएंगे, वो आपसे कहेगा कि आप ओनियन गार्लिक खा सकते हैं, ठीक है। लेकिन आप एक आध्यात्मवादी के पास जाएंगे तो वो कहेगा आप ओनियन गार्लिक नहीं खा सकते। तो किसी कार्य को निर्धारित करने के बहुत सारे तरीके होते हैं, क्योंकि आयुर्वेद के अंदर शरीर वो प्रायोरिटी में है और आत्मा सेकेंडरी स्टेज में है, लेकिन आध्यात्म के अंदर शरीर सेकेंडरी स्टेज में है और सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी में है। तो इसको कहते हैं नीति। तो कई बार ये निर्णय जो होते हैं, हम आध्यात्म के अनुसार हमारे जो भौतिक जीवन, प्रोफेशनल लाइफ जिसको हम कहते हैं, उसके निर्णय हम सारे के सारे आध्यात्मिक जीवन के हिसाब से नहीं ले सकते। कई बार हमें जो नीतियां होती हैं, नीतियों की शिक्षा धर्म में बताई गई है, और इन नीतियों के अनुसार ही हमें निर्णय लेने होते हैं। तो जैसे हम कहेंगे तृणादपि सुनीचन, नहीं, यदि आप अपने जो भी है, यदि आपका कोई जूनियर है और आप तृणादपि सुनीचन बन के काम करेंगे तो आप काम नहीं करवा पाएंगे। सो क्षत्रिय, अभी मैंने पढ़ा नहीं, तात्पर्य में लिखा हुआ है, ऋषि कह रहे हैं कि परीक्षित महाराज ने मारा क्यों नहीं उसको, खाली पनिशमेंट करके क्यों छोड़ दिया? यू सी द ऋषि क्या समझ होंगी। तो इसलिए प्रभु जी, एकदम आध्यात्मिक सिद्धांतों के हिसाब से प्रोफेशनल लाइफ को डील करना कठिन है। वी हैव टू फॉलो द प्रिंसिपल ऑफ नीति शास्त्र टू टैकल द सिचुएशंस, क्योंकि परिस्थितियां अलग अलग होती हैं। तो हम कहते हैं ना, सबको एक चक्की में नहीं पीस सकते हैं। यदि आपको टर्म पता हो, यदि दाल पीसनी है तो अलग उसका व्यवस्था होता है, और यदि गेहूं पीसना है तो अलग व्यवस्था होता है। So these spiritual principles we can apply personally in our life, and if someone is a devotee, then with dealing with the devotee we can use these principles. There's a niti, kantakam kantakam. You know these principles?
No.
Tit for tat. Tit for tat. So there are different aspects how we should deal in our professional life. Because I know for the devotee is a great challenge, big challenge, because by nature they are pure, they are soft, and when they are working outside, it becomes very difficult for them, very difficult for them. So, but we should not forget, we are Vaishnavas, and Vaishnavas are the most brilliant person. So we should always use the principles of Niti. Niti under the guidance of some devotees or some expert men who have the knowledge of those Nitis. And we see, I will narrate my answer is a little long. I will just want to share one incident. Once Prabhupada in Juhu, he used to go for the morning walk. And once he was going on morning walk, so that was the first day, and people were telling, "Good morning, Swamiji. Good morning, Swamiji. Good morning, Swamiji." And what Prabhupada was telling? Someone can guess? Prabhupada was telling good morning. He was not telling Hare Krishna or Jai Shri Krishna. And when Prabhupada came back to his quarter, his disciples, they were asking, "Prabhupada ji, they were telling you good morning, and you are also telling them good morning. Why? And Prabhupada was just quiet. Next day, when Prabhupada went for the morning walk, those all people, those who were saying good morning, Swamiji, now they were telling Hare Krishna Swamiji, Jai Sri Krishna Swamiji, Hare Krishna Swamiji. Now Prabhupada again came back to his quarter, and he was like, like sitting in a posture, like he won the battle. And then the disciples came. Prabhupada, yesterday they told good morning, and today they told Hare Krishna. Why is that? Prabhupada told, पहले संबंध बनाना पड़ेगा. संबंध बनाओगे. कल उन्होंने गुड मॉर्निंग बोला, मैंने उनसे गुड मॉर्निंग बोला. आज उनको समझ में आ गया सन्यासी व्यक्ति है, इसको गुड मॉर्निंग बोलने से कोई काम नहीं है, इसको हरे कृष्णा बोलना चाहिए. Now how Prabhupada is dealing here? Prabhupada is dealing here from the Niti Shastra. So that is how basically the dealings are based on this Niti Shastra. So this is one example. In the first example which I gave about the colonel, see, he was leading in such a way that his subordinate, he was telling, "Saab, aap mar bhi jayenge na, to aapko post pe leke jaunga." So that is how, like leadership and dealing with the people, different aspects are there. Is that answer your question, Rajat?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Any other devotee has any question? प्रभु जी, जैसे हिंदूज पे अटैक होता है तो, और वैसे भी मतलब इस्लामिक कल्चर ही थोड़ा सा अगेंस्ट लगता है, थोड़ा सा क्या पूरा ही अगेंस्ट लगता है. उनकी एक डिश होती है निहारी, वो सुबह 5 बजे खाते हैं, एंड इट इज मेड आउट ऑफ बीफ, और दे रियलिश इट, एंड अजीब सा लगता है ये सब. हाउ वी आर सर्वाइविंग, और फिर एक ही हिंदू कंट्री रह गई है.
I could not hear you, Prabhuji. Please repeat it.
एक्चुअली एक ही हिंदू कंट्री रह गई है प्रभु जी, एंड वी आर जस्ट सर्वाइविंग. एंड ठीक है, अच्छी बात है, हम लोग इसको अनफॉलो करते हैं, 16 राउंड से एंड करते हैं, बट हाउ डू वी अपोज दिस थिंग? we are following brahminical culture, we are not following kshatriya culture, so we can only argue, we can only comment, we are not doing anything tangible.
Yeah, that is our misfortune, I will say. There's a need of kshatriya, and who will do that, I don't know, but there's a need of kshatriya. And at the same time, we see Lord Chaitanya, when Kaji, when Kaji, he broke the mridanga, then at that time also Lord Chaitanya, he took just a like peaceful protest, and he went to Kaji. See, bro, in this age of Kali, when Prabhupada is criticizing the democracy, still we see the GBC, he kept the democratic system. So the thing is, yes, there's a need of kshatriya. Now I don't know what is the guideline for that. I know as a Brahman, as a Brahminical culture, the nature of Brahmana is to protect the faith when these kind of incidences happened. Regarding all these Muslim rules, we see when Krishna Chakravarti Thakur was there, Baldev Vidyabhushan was there, even Lord Chaitanya was there. We are in a better situation. That time country was just ruled by the Muslims. And that time also we see our most of Acharya, they wrote commentary, and all the Goswamis, they built temple at that time. So I think that is the guideline for us, being as a Brahminical movement. But if yes, someone has this nature, he can do something for the Kshatriya, creating the Kshatriyas, then he must do. And yeah, there can be some platform where devotees can think on that. But to maintain the purity of this movement, we have to follow what our founder Acharya has set up for this purity, because this is the only movement which is teaching the pure things for the society. Otherwise, most of the movement, they are now polluted. On the name of spirituality, we know either they are teaching something related to mind, or something related to intelligence, or basically yoga, which is related to body. This is the only movement of Srila Prabhupada which is teaching the pure things, which is really only and only which is related to soul. So to maintain the purity of this movement is the responsibility of we Like all of us, that is our responsibility. But if someone has desire to do something as a Kshatriya, then apart from ISKCON, they should do something not inside the ISKCON possible. Okay, Varun Prabhu, this is what my understanding.
Okay, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. So if no devotee has further questions, we will conclude the session. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्री श्री राधा कुंज बिहारी भगवान की जय, श्री श्री गौर निताय की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल,
हरि हरि बोल।
धीर शांत प्रभु की जय। हरे
जय
कृष्णा। और
Hare Krishna, Varun Prabhu.
प्रभुपाद।
जी जी।
Where is Shyam Chandra Prabhu?
Shyamchandra Prabhu is saying that he is unwell and he is unable to attend, and he is having some personal issues also.
Yeah, he messages me one day. Okay, so now you are managing, huh?
I'm trying to, invite devotees until they, we haven't got any holiday. Every day speakers are coming, so it's all grace of Prabhupada.
Okay, so please convey my obeisances to Shyam Chandra Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhuji.
He is doing such a wonderful thing that devotees, those who are different places, they are able to attend this wonderful program. Okay, Prabhu. Thank
Okay,
you.
Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna.